You're feeling overwhelmed. You're feeling like you're doing everything that you possibly can right now. You have so much on your schedule. You feel like you're always busy, but you're absolutely going nowhere. You're running in place, it feels like. You're anxious. I would even throw out the word depressed, but I don't want to throw it out like that. But you're feeling like this cloud over your head, and it's not going away. Everything that you love to do, you just have no interest in doing it anymore, or you just can't find the time to do it. This video is for you. I got you. Let me sip my drink. Let's spray some lavender spray. Let's get calm. Ooh, I hope I didn't get my cup. We are gonna realign you. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Deandra, and I'm so excited to help you out today. Everything that I talk about comes from personal experience as someone who has battled anxiety and depression and sleeping problems in the past. I wanna help you guys out in any way that I can and just empower you that you're completely capable of picking yourself up when no one else can. I got so excited to make this YouTube video for you guys today because if you are one of the people who is feeling overwhelmed, you feel like you're doing so much but you're not moving, and you feel like you've just given up, or for some reason the things that you're doing are not working, this video is for you. This video is going to give you tangible steps on how to unstuck yourself, how to underwhelm your schedule instead of overwhelming your schedule. Take a seat, relax, and listen up. The first thing you need to do is put away that phone. Take that phone, put it in another room. We're gonna sit down. You can sit down and watch this video, or you can sit down in silence after this video is done and start everything that I'm gonna tell you. But one, get away from that phone. Let's turn off any kind of distractions that you have right now, and let's just really get one-on-one with each other. That phone is gonna tie so much stress to it, especially if you work on that phone, if people are trying to call you on that phone, if the social media is on that phone. Let's put it away. After you've gotten rid of the phone, now that we're just one-on-one, the first thing that you're gonna need to do if you're feeling this stress in your life, you're feeling this tiredness in your life, you're feeling this exhaustion, this depletion of everything that you love, the first thing that you want to get is clear on your beliefs. What do you believe in? I mean this in, I believe in God. So God is my moral compass. God is what I look to in hard times. God is who I lean on. What do you believe in? Whether that is spiritual, whether that is God, maybe it's a different religion, whatever it is, you have to remember, what do you believe in? That is the first step for unstucking your life, because you need to remind yourself and realign with your North Star. Your belief is your North Star. I know when life gets super busy, it can be really easy to just get overwhelmed with day-to-day tasks and just forget the whole reason that we're even on this earth. We have to live lives when we know that there's something more than just us out there. So if you don't know that there's something more than you out there, what's the point of life? There seems like there's no point of life. So the first step in unstucking yourself and underwhelming your life is get clear on your beliefs. Your belief, so example, mine's God, is my why. It's something bigger than me that exists in this universe that I am believing in, I am living life for. So get clear on your belief, and that's the first step. Whether it is your spiritual belief, make time in your day to realign with God. So if you have fallen off reading your Bible, if you've fallen off of your prayer, if you've fallen off on your meditation, if you have fallen off on connecting with just yourself, you've fallen off on your yoga practices, whatever it may be, that is the first step to unstucking yourself, is you have to bring that back in. You have to bring your why back in, and you have to get very clear as to why you're even doing things on this planet. You cannot go anywhere without a compass. So if you're running in place, honeys, because you forgot your moral compass. You forgot your North Star. You don't know where it's pointing to. You cannot go anywhere without this. So the first thing that you need to do is bring that back in, baby. If you need to wake up 15 minutes earlier so you can meditate, read your Bible, whatever it may be, you have to do that, because you need something that you can lean on that is not human. You can't lean on your friends and your family as the first defense to unstucking yourself. Later down the line, that's going to be helpful. You'll need your friends and family. But the first thing that you need to do is lean on something that is outside of yourself, and that is going to be your beliefs. The reason that you need to get clear on your beliefs is because when you're just living day-to-day life, it's actually easy to forget how to live. You forget that if there's a guidebook to a lot of how you live, and it's internal or it's external in your belief. That is your compass. That is where you're going. That is why you're doing these things. Now that you've figured out your beliefs, now that you've realized, okay, I'm going to make 15 minutes of time to really pour into my beliefs and get my moral compass back on track, the next thing that you're going to do is write down a list of 3 things, 3 hobbies, it doesn't matter, that you love. 3 things that you love to do, okay? This can be talking to your friends, this can be going on walks, this can be working out. For me, it's working out, going on walks, seeing my friends, whatever it may be. You need to write down 3 hobbies that you love and are not doing right now. And it has to specifically be things that you are not doing in your daily practices that you normally would be doing or that you normally love to do. Now that you've had 3 of them written down, you are going to prioritize in your schedule for this week at least 1 of them. So if this is working out, it doesn't have to mean that you work out 5 times a week. It does not mean that you have to work out 7 times a week. You are just gonna make 1 time a week to do this one activity. This is gonna be a process. So unstucking your life is a process of incorporating incorporating things that we need as humans back into our life. And the reason that we're choosing hobbies is because when you're overwhelmed by work, if you're overwhelmed by family, if you're overwhelmed by thoughts, you need to get outside of yourself, and hobbies take you outside of yourself. You need to give yourself that emotional release and that emotional happiness, that reward that your body gives yourself when you do something that you genuinely enjoy, that you're not forced to do. Hobbies are not something that you're forced to do, okay? Picking your kids up from school is something that you're forced to do. A hobby is not. So you want to make sure that you're writing down something that is not a force. It's something that in your core, it brings out that inner child. It is something that you love, and it's something that just sparks joy inside of you. Thinking about doing this activity is not going to give you the emotional reward that you think that it is. You need to actually do this activity. So that's why I'm saying if you're feeling overwhelmed with your schedule right now, you're going to need to prioritize you. And prioritizing you is getting this hobby into your schedule. So again, if it's working out, it's maybe waking up 1 hour earlier or going to bed 1 hour later so that you can get that 30 minutes to an hour of working out. If it's having lunch with a friend, it's scheduling into your work schedule a block time and reaching out to someone who you haven't seen in a while and having lunch with that person. You're gonna go out of your way to include this hobby into your life. And it may seem like, Deandra, that's just adding more to my plate. Maybe it's adding more to my stress. The whole point of adding a hobby in is to de-stress you. It's an active activity that you're doing that is emotionally releasing some of this frustration, some of this pent-up anger, some of this pent-up sadness, this pent-up cloud over your head, this pent-up whatever it may be that you're experiencing right now. This is going to be a space to actually emotionally release. We all know that therapy is really beneficial. And of course, if you can afford therapy, by all means, therapy is going to be the quickest way for some people to unstuck themselves. For others, it doesn't work. For others, they simply can't afford it. So I want to give you guys options and solutions for things that you can do that have little to no cost, that you have already incorporated into your life. And that it's really important to be able to unstuck yourself because you're the only one who's going to be able to do it. The next thing that you're going to do to unstuck yourself is think about your goals. Now, if you're overwhelmed, it's like, oh my gosh, goal setting is the last thing that I want to do. Now, hear me out. The caveat here is that you're only going to give yourself a 1 month goal and a 1 week goal. So we're not navigating a 5-year goal right now. We're not navigating a 1 year goal. And this is not necessarily weight loss. This is not a New Year's resolution kind of goal. This is like a simple, I want to get these things done, or I want to accomplish this, or I want to learn this, or maybe I want to start something. Maybe I want to end something. This is what this goal is going to be. So again, we're trying to unstuck ourselves and get ourselves out of that emotional low. So what is something that you want to achieve that we can do within a week, that we can do within a month's time? I'll give an example. For me, my goal, something that sparks joy, something that I enjoy doing, is making YouTube videos. I don't have the most time in my day, so I think, but it's about planning and making time. And I make it my 1 week goal to make 1 YouTube video. So that's finding time within my week. And I will literally write down in my schedule, think of concept, film concept, edit concept, and that's every single week. That is my 1 week goal. By the end of the month, I have 4 videos. So it's before you even know it, you're accomplishing these little things because you started to break them down into smaller tasks. So if that's something for you that you enjoy, or something that you need to accomplish, or something that's a long-term goal of yours, let's bring that down. Okay, perspective is really important, especially if you're feeling overwhelmed. You need to take something from an overview and you need to put it down under a microscope. We have to think about what can we do today to better ourselves? What can we do tomorrow to better ourselves? Not what can we do 1 year from now. A lot of our anxiety, a lot of our stress, a lot of our frustration comes from not being able to see things a year down the road. Not being able to see things when we're married. Not being able to see things when we get our dream job. We need to focus on today. We need to focus on this week. Okay, so write down this 1 week goal and this 1 month goal and start writing tangible steps for how to accomplish it just within this week. Now you're overwhelmed because you have a lot on your schedule as far as work. Let's micromanage our schedule. Let's get really clear on what we actually need to do for work. Let's get really clear on what we actually need to do as far as spending time with friends and family. Let's get really clear on what we need to do everything outside of that. A lot of times we feel overwhelmed because our schedule is not organized. Do you have a planner? Are you writing everything down? Are you busy? Are you fake busy? There's a difference between actually getting work done and just busy work. So we need to be able to separate the two. Maybe you're feeling overwhelmed right now because you feel like you need to be busy. You feel like you have to be, oh, I have to be doing this, I have to be doing that. No. We're only gonna work intentionally. We're only gonna sit down and be busy if we're actually accomplishing something. If you find that you're just doing busy work just to stay busy, that is what's adding to your anxiety. That's what's adding to your depression. That I need to be here, I need to be there. You don't. Okay? You need to sit down and be very intentional about what you're actually doing. If you sit down and for some reason you're having brain fog and you can't think, you're gonna go on a walk. If you have the luxury of doing that at an office, if you have the luxury of doing that because you work from home, go on a walk. There's no point in sitting there and trying to force yourself to do something if your brain is not actively going to be helping you to do it. Going on a walk is going to stimulate you. It's going to reground you. It's going to take your mind off of the work situation so that when you return, maybe you have clear thinking, a clear thought process, okay? That's what we're going to do. It's going to help you out. The last thing that we're going to implement for this week and this month is going to be gratitude. It might sound silly. Don't laugh at me when I say it, okay? All of these things are rooted in actual neurological research, okay? Neurological research ties to a lot of the practices and the habits that we have, and we just don't know it. So like going for a walk, it's the chemical response we have in our body. It might seem something simple like, oh, go for a walk. Everyone says that. No, but there's an actual neurological response. Gratitude is the same way. We're gonna practice gratitude because when you're at your lowest of lows or don't love things at this moment or feeling overwhelmed, we forget what we're thankful for. We forget what we have. A lot of us have so much in this life and we're not even aware of it because we're too busy comparing it to the next person. We're too busy comparing it to our idols. We're too busy comparing it to Jesse over here on Instagram who's flexing everything, but it's not even real. We gotta get back. Do we have a roof over our heads? Do we have food in our belly? Do we have clothes on our body? So let's start with gratitude. Gratitude ties into reframing our language because once we start being thankful for things, we stop seeing the lack in our things, okay? And reframing our language, we're gonna take our language and we're gonna reframe it from a negative point of view to a positive point of view. Let me give you an example. Say you're wanting to meet up with a friend who lives out of state. The difference between you getting from A to B is either gonna be a 5-hour drive or a plane ticket, okay? You hate driving, you despise it, you don't have the time to do it, you don't wanna do it, whatever. Instead of saying, I hate driving, I refuse to drive, I don't know how I'm gonna work, you're gonna say, I prefer to fly. You're gonna take all of the negative speech that you have you're gonna try this for one day. You're gonna see how you do. But you're gonna take all of the negative speech that you have surrounding things that you do and don't wanna do, and you're gonna reframe it. I hate going to the gym. Instead say, I prefer to go for a walk outside. I like to do something else. We're gonna reframe all the things that you don't like or the things that you talk negatively about yourself, and we're gonna talk positively, but not toxic positivity. I'm not saying lie. There's no lies that are gonna be happening when you're reframing the language in your world. We're just speaking on things that we actually like to do instead of focusing on the negative. So we're focusing on the positive. Now, if you break your leg, I don't want you to say like, oh, I feel great, I'm good. That's not the reframing. If you break your leg, you're gonna say, well, maybe I needed to sit down for a reason. Maybe I needed to recoup for a reason. Maybe my body needed to rest for a reason, and that's why this is happening. We're reframing our thoughts, and we're using gratitude as a way to completely shift our mindset. Now that we have all the things that we need to do, we're gonna do this for a week. We're gonna try this for a week, all of the steps, starting from one to the last one, and we're going to use this for this entire week. After this week, we're gonna check back in with ourselves. The only way that things are gonna work and your situation is gonna change is if you actually put in the work. So it's listening to this video, then going and say, I don't wanna do these things. I don't think that they work because maybe they sound woo-woo to you. Your world is not gonna change. Your world doesn't change unless you do. So you're actually gonna start implementing these things, these protocols, and you're gonna come back in a week and you're gonna say, how do I feel? When I tell you these actually will change your life, you will be happier, you will feel gratitude, you will, because your mind believes what you tell it. And sometimes when you're feeling that depression or you're feeling that anxiety, you have all these thoughts running through your head, you're going to have to refocus and reframe your thinking in order to change the chemistry in your body and in your brain, which then in turn just changes your reality. One last thing that I'll add is women. We're women. We are constantly having a monthly cycle. Please don't be hard on yourself if for 2 weeks out of the month you feel like I'm this angry, depressed gremlin, because it's actually the cycle of our body going through the things that it needs to do to prepare for pregnancy, whatever it may be. So remind yourself, if you do kind of have like a week or two where you're feeling like, oh, the cloud is back over my head, I don't know why, and the next 2 weeks you're like, I feel great. Try to remind yourself that it is part of the cycle and that you need to just be aware that your body is constantly changing every month and not to be too hard on yourself. So if you do feel like you're falling off for some reason, you do feel like that cloud is back, re-implement these strategies, re-watch this video, re-be empowered, re-remind yourself that give yourself grace, but do the work. It's so important. I really hope that this video empowers you. I hope that you implement these steps. If you do and they work for you, just leave a comment below and let me know if there's anything that you add into these steps. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Mwah.